tardes. Es un placer para mí compartir hoy esta graduación de estudiantes latinos que han completado este ciclo de estudios aquí en Whittier College. Así que mi primera petición a ustedes es un gran aplauso para todos ellos. También es un gusto enorme estar aquí compartiendo con todos ustedes, familiares, padres, amigos, que han también contribuido en el esfuerzo para que ellos pudieran completar su educación. Todo proceso de educación tiene obviamente el esfuerzo de los estudiantes, pero también el de la institución y de los padres, la familia que los ha apoyado durante todos. Así que quiero darles la cordial bienvenida a esta graduación de estudiantes latinos. Gracias por estar aquí, por llegarse a Whittier. Y quiero ahora, un gusto también, presentarles a la presidenta de nuestro college, la doctora Sharon Herzberger, que va a dirigirles unas palabras. Muchas gracias.
A todos las madres aquí. Pero hoy es un día para celebrar a nuestros estudiantes que en pocos días se graduarán de Whittier College. Felicidades a todos. And before I completely humiliate myself, I will switch to my native language, English. Lo siento. I applaud everyone here who is not so linguistically challenged. More than 125 years ago, our founders established this college in honor of the poet and abolitionist John Greenleaf Whittier. And it became a college imbued with values that continue to this day: respect for community, service to others, a profound commitment to the equality of all peoples around the world, and to listening and learning across lines of difference and finding commonalities. The strong presence of Latino students, marked by our long-standing designation as a Hispanic serving institution, is a testament to that founding commitment. And because we are also one of the most diverse private colleges, with no racial or ethnic group being in the majority, our Latino students and all of their colleagues from all backgrounds learn from each other and will be well prepared for leadership in their lives as professionals and as contributors to their communities around the globe. Like those who came before them, the students in the class of 2015 have made outstanding contributions to Whittier College. As usual, our Latino students earned academic honors at the most recent ceremony well beyond their numbers. They have been some of our top athletes, and they have been our campus leaders as RAs, admissions ambassadors, peer mentors, and officers in so many campus organizations. Graduates, you have learned much at Whittier, and we have learned much from you. Take pride in being a poet, take pride in our founding principles, and in the history that you have helped shape for generations to come at this college. I look forward to applauding you as you cross the stage at commencement on Friday, and I hope that you will come back to campus soon and often. Buena suerte, poetas.
Good afternoon. What a happy day for your families and for your children and graduates. We are delighted to be with you and to honor your children, and also to remember a student that once was here with us a few years ago and has now returned as our guest speaker. We call her Ceci, we call her Cecilia, we call her Dr. Cecilia Santiago-Gonzalez, but she is ours, and we love her. She came to our college community in 1998 as a first-year student, often arriving after an hour-and-a-half bus ride from South Central Los Angeles. She is the first member of her family, a family who immigrated from Mexico to graduate from college. I remember the many ways that Cecilia shared Whittier College with her loved ones, often bringing her younger sister Angie with her to campus while her mother worked to support them. Cecilia knew how to honor herself and others as a daughter, a sister, a student, and an employee here at our college. She was persistent, not only surviving but thriving in college, and it was so easy to see her talents, her gifts, her loving heart, and her strengths in the classroom, and her involvement on campus, and her role as a student researcher. Dr. Santiago-Gonzalez's academic success and loving care of her sister was only the beginning of helping others feel safe and successful in college. Today, Cecilia is the inaugural Director of Enrollment and One-Stop Services at Cal Poly Pomona. She is developing a one-stop enrollment student center that provides a higher level of efficient and personalized services for students who are there. She also continues to direct the university's new student and parent orientation programs. She's served in many ways in higher education. Before she returned to Cal Poly Pomona, she served as an adjunct faculty member in the Educational Leadership Department at Cal State Fullerton, teaching educational research and assessment to current and aspiring student affairs practitioners. She was also a researcher at USC's Center for Urban Education, and she focused on higher education equity and access, Hispanic serving institutions, STEM education and mentoring, Latinos in higher education, institutional agents, community colleges, college affordability, and other related topics. She has led numerous departments and initiatives focusing on helping students find equitable, supportive, and validating learning environments. She's worked in so many places and contributed so much to so many, such as being Associate Director for Student Support Services at the Art Center College of Design, as coordinator of the Cesar Chavez Center for Higher Education at Cal Poly Pomona, as the Associate Director of the Cultural Center and the Director of the Ortiz Programs at Whittier College, and as an admissions counselor here with us. She received a doctorate in education and educational leadership from the University of Southern California. Her dissertation focused on the things that she loved here and always, ways that we could identify helping faculty act as institutional agents for low-income Latino students in STEM disciplines at Hispanic serving institutions. And we weren't surprised at all when she was awarded the Ariat Award, which demonstrates her excellence, her valor, and virtue among those in her graduating class. She also has a master's degree in college student affairs from Azusa Pacific University and her bachelor's degree in social work from Whittier College. Now we return to where the story began. Though Cecilia is the first person in her family to graduate from college, we know and believe that she will not be the last. The little sister who drew pictures in my office is now completing her first year at Whittier College, and she's employed by the admissions office, helping students begin their own college experience. The circle is beginning again. Maybe Angie's drawing pictures in admissions. We don't know. We'll ask. Ceci, your life and your work honor your family and our world. I continue to say you are a treasure. You are my treasure. You are our treasure. I also add, you are my teacher. You inspire and challenge me to do my best. You are so precious to so many. I know your words to our students and their families will be worthy of attention, filled with love, wisdom, and dignity. I present to you Dr. Cecilia Santiago-Gonzalez.
Wow. I said I wasn't going to cry, but I have already started. Gracias. Thank you, Paula, for the heartfelt introduction. I'm so glad that we've been able to be part of each other's lives for over 16 years. We lose touch, but we always catch up on Facebook, it seems. So, you are one of the reasons that I owe so much for really setting the pathway for my journey in higher education. I love you. I appreciate your guidance, your mentorship, and your love. I am also glad to see so many of the faculty members that I had a chance to work with as a student and as a colleague when I worked here at the college. Thank you for all the support that you offer to our students. President Herzberger, I appreciate your homecoming, and thank you for your commitment to Latino students at Whittier. I also want to thank Amigos Unidos, Mecha, and the Ortiz programs at Whittier College for inviting me to be part of this amazing event. I have to admit that I was a little reluctant. I usually don't speak in large groups, but I challenged myself. That's what I would tell my students to do, so I decided to do it. I was also inspired by a conference that I attended where the keynote speaker at that conference talked about the many gifts that we have and our responsibility to share those gifts, as small or big as we think they may be. So thank you again for inviting me. And honestly, how can I resist to attend an event where I could wear my funny doctor hat? My students call it that way. Actually, once a year, I let them borrow it in the office and take a picture and visualize themselves as future doctors. They actually think it's one of the funniest and coolest things I allow them to do in the office. Before I continue my remarks this evening, at the request of a few of our graduates, I would like to ask for a moment of silence in honor of those who are no longer with us, especially to all the mothers and all the mother figures who are with us in spirit. Por petición de unos de los graduados, les pido unos segundos de silencio para honrar a las personas que ya no están con nosotros, físicamente, especialmente a las mamás y a las personas que queremos como mamás. Thank you, gracias. An interesting fact, I actually participated in the first official Latino graduation celebration in 2002. Yes, 2002, I'm losing my time here. Oh my goodness, I got a little scared. The celebration was actually held in Hoover 100. And there were only a handful of us. I remember my friend Luis Flores, or Luis Largo as we used to call him, because he was very tall. He would bug us and bug us, are you coming, are you coming? And I finally said, yes, okay, I'll come, but my mom can't come, she's at work. She's like, it doesn't matter, just show up. And, you know, I remember going to the celebration and being scared and not knowing what was about to happen. And as soon as I walked there and saw the other families, and they hugged me even though they had not seen me before, and congratulated me for such an accomplishment. I remember meeting Martin Ortiz and shaking his hand as I received my stole. Many of you may have heard of Martin Ortiz, but he was the founder of the Center for Mexican American Affairs here at the college and one of the first Latinos to graduate from Whittier. And so it was an honor to be part of that. It's an honor to be here today. I am glad that we could continue events like this to celebrate not only the accomplishments of our graduates, but your accomplishments, sus acontecimientos. As I stand here looking at the audience, knowing that the graduates are listening very careful, right? You're not taking selfies, right? I kid. We'll take a selfie later. I cannot help but to reflect back to when I was in those seats, excited to graduate, feeling proud of what I had accomplished, and a little regretful of the things that I hadn't done, to be honest. And I was afraid of what the future held. Like some of you, I was the first in my family to graduate from college. Being the first one to do anything can be scary. When you are the first to do something, doubt can cloud your thinking and paralyze you. Doubt can make you think you are not worthy or good enough. And doubt can oftentimes prevent you from seeing the finish line, especially when the obstacles to overcome to get to the finish line seem insurmountable. But being the first can be equally exciting. It allows us to be pioneers, trailblazers, entrepreneurs of our own destiny. And in reality, we've never been alone. We've never been alone on this road. We are standing on the shoulders of others who have worked hard to help us be here today. In many cases, we are quick to acknowledge public and historical figures, activists, politicians, artists, famous people for paving the road for our community. And that's important. That's very important. However, there are many others who are very close to us who deserve as much credit. Our families, nuestras familias. They have not only opened doors for us, but many times have had to kick doors for us in order for us to be here. And I want to say, kick doors for us. I'm sure that it has not been easy. I'm going to take my funny hat off. En este momento quisiera reconocer a los familiares que están presentes hoy. Mamás, papás, hermanos, hermanas, abuelitos, tíos, primos y hasta vecinos que vinieron ahora. Por favor, pónganse de pie y sean reconocidos por el apoyo que le han brindado a los estudiantes y por su valentía de buscar un mejor mañana para nosotros. We want to honor you. Please stand. Muchas gracias, se pueden sentar. It almost felt like church. You can sit down, get up. I know that Dr. Sheridan shared a few anecdotes about our relationship and read my bio, but I want to share a little bit more about myself. She mentioned that I grew up in South Central LA, a place where oftentimes youth is not really held to high expectations or have assumptions of who we are and where we're going. Actually, my mom still lives in South Central, and it will always be home. I actually have felt reluctant to participate in my city because I'm betraying South Central. I actually grew up a few miles from the University of Southern California, and to me that's significant because I actually received my first degree from USC. I went to USC's preschool, and my last degree I obtained from USC. I attended some of the most impoverished public schools in the Los Angeles Unified School District. I was very lucky, and I say lucky because I know that there were other students who deserved to have the same opportunities that I was offered at those schools. I was well liked by teachers and was recommended to attend magnet or special programs that provided college preparation curriculum. I do not doubt that they recognized my intellectual potential, but let's be honest, I was a metiche, or a nosy one, as my mom calls me. I wanted to know everything and anything. I am a sponge for information. I love to learn. But it was that desire to learn and the disparities that I began to observe that led me to be an advocate for equitable education. In particular, my social consciousness was awakened when I attended Roosevelt High School in Boyle Heights. Yeah, we have a Rough Rider. I learned about the history of the Chicano blowouts. I was actually the student speaker for the 20th year commemoration of the Chicano blowouts when I was in high school. And I was really inspired by the courage of the students at the time to fight for what it was their right, an equitable education. I also began to read books where my history was reflected, and I was hooked. I was hooked to learning. My teachers recognized this hunger to learn and began encouraging me to think about college. I only knew one person that had attended college at that time, and it seemed like something so abstract. I knew that I walked, through USC, but I never knew what it really meant to be a college student or a college graduate. I usually just nodded, and when the topic came up, and didn't put much thought into it. Fast forward, it's time to apply for colleges. My friend tells me about a college named Whittier College. She's smart and seems to know what she's doing, and the brochure looked really nice too. So I apply. I get admitted and decide to come to Whittier College without having even visited the campus. The day that I was supposed to come to a campus tour, my aunt's car broke down and we couldn't make it. But I have to say that attending Whittier College was the best decision that I could have ever made. It's my home. I know that attending Whittier, however, required a lot of sacrifices, and not only on my part. It required sacrifices for my mom. See, my mom was a single mom. She worked countless hours in the clothing sweatshops in downtown. And she still actually does. Not for a sweatshop anymore, but she works in the clothing industry. And barely made enough to put food on the table. I also had an unpredictable heart condition, and my dad had just passed away a few days before high school graduation. There was just lots going on. I knew that attending a private school, not so close to home, wouldn't be easy. But to put things in perspective, I realized that my risk to attend Whittier College had no comparison to the courageous decision my mom made to come to the United States with no more than a suitcase to provide a better future for me. Every day during my first year of college, rain or shine, I took 4 buses to Whittier College from South Central LA. The first 2 buses was to drop off my sister. Where's Angie? Can she wave? Hi, sister. Can we give my sister an applause? I'm very proud of her. She's really embarrassed. Having to do this wasn't easy, but I learned a valuable lesson that I have carried throughout my educational and professional career. And it's a lesson that I would like to share with you, graduates. Rely on your purpose and passion to guide you. When things get hard, that will be the what and the why you keep going when you do not think you have the strength to do so. I wish I could tell you that things are going to be easy, that you're going to receive $1 million check with your degree, but that is not the case. Maybe just a few student loans. But let the why and the what guide your path. I know that for me, one of the things that keeps me going today is the staggering statistics about inequitable enrollment and outcomes for Latinos and other underrepresented students in higher education. A recent Pew Hispanic Trend project reported that while Latino enrollment has seen a significant growth in recent years, Latinos continue to lag in bachelor's degree attainment in comparison to other groups. And actually, for doctoras and doctores like myself, we only account for 0.2%. 0.2%, very sobering. In 2012, 14.5% of Latinos across the country ages 25 and older had earned a bachelor's degree. In contrast to 51% of Asians, 34.5% of whites, and 21.2% of African American had earned a bachelor's degree. We need to do work across the board. That's what keeps me going. Some will argue that these numbers represent a lack of interest in the Latino community to participate in higher education. Other cynics will even blame our parents and our family for not instilling the value of education. They will say that educación no es importante. And that is not true. I refuse those statements. My mom actually never received a formal education. She learned how to read and write with the nuns at church. While she did not always understand my educational experiences and was scared for me to enter this uncharted territory, she always reinforced the importance of working hard and being the best person, the best human and the student that I could be. You are, we are, a testament that we value education, that we want to be educated in our communities. However, I'm going to challenge you, now that you've made it, right? What are you going to do for our fellow brothers and sisters to ensure that we widen the educational pipeline, not only for Latino students, but for all youth who attaining a college education can be a transformative experience for them and their communities? As the next business person, teacher, politician, social worker, mathematician, doctor, engineer, what are you going to do to close the opportunity gap? We can't be bystanders to this issue. We can't be bystanders to any issues that compromise what we've been promised if we work hard. A piece of the American dream and an equality for all. We need to act, we need to think critically, we need to challenge the status quo. Will you accept my challenge? They're nodding. They're saying yes. I'm just going to do a general statement. They all said yes. Next week, when you cross the commencement stage, it is another opportunity to change the master narrative, meaning a narrative that has oftentimes excluded or distorted our communities, our parents' narrative, our own narrative. I encourage you to share your narrative, your story. Be courageous. We need to hear your story. Future generations need to hear your story. Whatever your story is, it needs to be heard. We cannot underestimate our sphere of influence, and whether a youth in the coming years will depend on you to make it today, to make it to their destination, to their goals, and to meet their dreams. I will leave you with two of my favorite quotes. The first is by Paulo Coelho, the author of The Alchemist, and one of the books that I always refer to when I'm in a time of transition. This would be a time of transition for all of you. Remember your dreams and fight for them. You must know that what you want from life. There is just one thing that makes your dreams become impossible: the fear of failure. The second is by Mary Ann Radmacher. Courage doesn't always roar. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the little voice at the end of the day that says that I'll try again tomorrow. Thank you so much for allowing me to share in the celebration. Sí se puede y sí se pudo. Muchas gracias.
Ahora tenemos el momento que hemos esperado. Los estudiantes van a recibir de manos de la doctora Bortz, que es la vicepresidenta de Asuntos Académicos y decana de la faculty, un certificado de participación en esta celebración. Les vamos a pedir, si por favor no aplauden hasta el final, porque tenemos 80 estudiantes participando hoy y eso se llevaría bastante tiempo. Al final podemos aplaudir por 80 segundos, ¿qué les parece? Un segundo por cada uno, ¿sí? Muchas gracias. Entonces vamos a comenzar, y vamos a comenzar con Ruby Acevedo. Ok. Voy a llamar sus nombres cuando lleguen aquí a recibir su certificado. Muy bien, empezamos. Ruby Acevedo. Lorena Ruiz. Jasmine Romero. Victoria Esker. Alisa Olga Adame. Melissa Alexandra Alfieri. Ángela René Álvarez. Jonathan Gabriel Álvarez. Andrew Montaño Anda. Continuamos con Daniela Arredondo. Lauren Celia Bailey. Marguerite Isabel Castañeda. Xiomara Cruz. José Jaime Cueva. Sarah Marie Sornia. Celia de Aro. Jacob Alexander de la Torre. Joseph Anthony de la Torre. Chloe Priscila Díaz. Hazel Ann Durán. Mauricio Escobar. Y Idalia Guadalupe Gaitán. Paola Garay. Noel Anaís García. Mónica René García. Yadira Gutiérrez. Marta Cristina Guzmán. Lucía Hernández. Jennifer Hutchin. David Hasso. Catherine Lazo. Guadalupe León. Kyle Ryan León. Cassandra Guadalupe Leiva. Nayeli Mireya Limón. Cristian José Loera. Joshua Andrew Magaña. Cody Michael Martínez. Denise Martínez. Carla Natalie Martínez. Julianne Therese Mock. Bobby Marie Mendoza. Karen Montufar Federico. Mauro Munguía. Stefan James Muñoz. Erika Elise Murillo. Carlos Pánfilo Vázquez. Héctor Pantoja. Amy Denise Parada Landaverde. Jacqueline Pérez. Alisa Jordan Pérez. Lynette Ramírez. Erika Isabel Rodríguez. Diego Romero. Sarah Vanessa Romero. Laura Alexis Rosas. Kenia Saldaña. Heather Nicole Salisbury. Frida María Soria. Hailey Annette Tama. José Luis Torres. Janice Rebecca Ulrich. Anabel Isabela Valdovinos. Brittany Lauren Vargas. Julio César Vargas. Adam Orlando Vega. Analí Ventura. Janina Marie Bisson. Desiree Raylene Yanes y Andreina Cepeda. Ahora sí vamos a darles un gran aplauso. A continuación vamos a escuchar de algunos de nuestros estudiantes que tienen unos mensajes para ustedes y los demás graduados. Ruby Acevedo, empezamos con él. Muchas gracias.
Hola, buenas tardes. Me llamo Ruby Acevedo. Me da mucho gusto que pudieron venir a celebrar estos momentos con nosotros. Ahora voy a contarles unas cosas que aprendí aquí en Whittier College. Al ser creada en un pueblo pequeño, puedo decir que tenía miedo estar en una universidad grande. Viniendo a Whittier fue una transición muy buena para mí porque el tamaño de la universidad y la calidad de las conexiones hechas aquí es algo muy bueno. Las clases son pequeñas y los alumnos y profesores crean un medio ambiente especial y cómodo. No me tomó mucho tiempo para averiguar que los profesores están atentos a todo. Bueno, me acuerdo que en mi primer semestre tomé una clase que está requerida para todos los nuevos alumnos. Un día me desperté un poquito tarde y pues y un poquito tarde a clase. Me acuerdo asomándome por la ventana y miré que el profesor no estaba en la clase. Mi amigo Sheldon me señaló a que me apurara a entrar. Entré a la clase y le pregunté, ¿dónde está el profesor Zapia? Y me contestó, oh, fue a su oficina a agarrar unos papeles, ahorita vuelve. Pero no creo que note que no estabas aquí antes. Tomé un respiro de alivio y saqué mis cosas. Entró el profesor y volteó a verme y dijo, ah, Ruby, qué bueno que nos acompañas. Fue algo que no esperaba. Y ya casi después de eso, ya no lo volví a hacer. Es algo tan bueno cuando los profesores te reconocen por nombre y toman el tiempo para conocerte bien como persona. Whittier College da a los estudiantes muchas oportunidades de involucrarse en diferentes organizaciones. Yo estuve involucrada en diferentes organizaciones y puedo decir que es realmente hermoso que Whittier da esta oportunidad a unirse a cualquier club que te interese y te acepta completamente. Yo obviamente no soy hawaiana, pero me llamó la cultura y quería aprender de la cultura, so me uní a los Hawaiian Islanders Club. Y resulta que hice unos muy buenos amigos ahí. So ahora cuando vaya para Hawaii, ya sé dónde ir. Whittier es un colegio que da a los estudiantes la oportunidad de tratar nuevas cosas y de expandir nuestra sabiduría con todos, incluyendo culturas. Puedo también decir que mis amigos han hecho mi experiencia aquí muy maravillosa. Sé que nuestra amistad va a seguir siendo muy fuerte a través de los años. Me gustaría agradecerle a Luz María y a Andriana. Son las personas que me han ayudado tremendamente en mi paisaje de ser líder y involucrado en la escuela. Son muy buenas personas con corazones muy grandes que están abiertos para todos los estudiantes. Sé que nos quieren mucho y nosotros las admiramos y van a siempre tener un lugar muy especial en nuestros corazones. Últimamente, papá, pues aquí estamos. Quiero agradecerles por siempre teniendo fe en mí cuando muchos no lo tuvieron. Por motivándome a seguir adelante, a nunca darme por vencida y por no dejar que las fallas me bajen. Quiero también agradecerle a mi hermana, mi mejor amiga. Gracias por siempre ser una influencia muy positiva y por siempre estar a mi lado por mis bajadas y mis subidas. Son mis héroes y motivación más grande. Los amo muchísimo. Ahora, hay que seguir confiando. Estamos aquí porque tuvimos la fe y fuerza de terminar nuestras carreras. Como dijo César Chávez, sí se puede. Gracias.
Buenas tardes, me llamo Lorena Ruiz Gomez. Okay, so coming from a high school that was majority Mexicans and African Americans, there was definitely a culture shock attending Whittier College. I felt disconnected from my roots, and Mecha and Amigos Unidos helped me integrate into Whittier. They made me feel like I belonged on the campus. Luz Galbraith was a mother to me as she watched over me and made sure I kept up with my classwork after all the crazy events I did. I met some of my closest friends in Mecha. As a senior, I finally pledged for the Palmer Society. And although it was the most hectic event I've ever done, it was one of the most rewarding. Girls who I didn't know at the beginning of the year became people very dear to me that will continue to be in my life for many years to come. Being a commuter, it was very difficult to feel a part of Whittier, and these clubs made me feel as an important member of the Whittier College community. Although I will be graduating in a few days, I will be at Whittier College for an additional 2 years as I have received a graduate teaching fellowship where I will be receiving my master's and teaching credentials, as well as the opportunity to work at Broad Oaks. Many people have helped me to get to where I am today. 2 special individuals I will always be thankful for are my nephews, Damien and Julian. Every time I look at them, I want to become a better person so they can have someone to look up to. I want to also thank my older brother and sister for always encouraging me to do my best to become something in life with hard work and dedication. They taught me that a person should always be respected. They were great examples for me, showing me to stay away from my distractions and how to focus on what is really important. Thank you to my younger siblings for motivating me to be a good example, someone they could look up to. My biggest role model, my mother. She always humbled me and made me value my education. Every time I wanted to quit, she would tell me, aguanta la vara, which means hang in there. a phrase my great-grandfather used to always say before he passed. This certificate has my name on it, but it should also have my mom's name. This amazing woman used to starve herself just to make sure we ate. She made sure I had everything she could possibly give me. She always sacrifices her needs in order to make sure all 5 of her children are happy. She always reminded me of what a strong, young, and hardworking Mexican-American woman I am. I'm happy to say that I am the first in my family to graduate.
Felicidades nuevamente a los graduados por su dedicación, por su perseverancia, porque yo sé que no fue fácil, pero lo lograron. Gracias a sus familias por apoyarlos en los momentos difíciles y a los profesores y administradores que siempre les brindaron su conocimiento y su ayuda. Quisiera también darle una muestra de agradecimiento muy especial a la vicepresidenta de Asuntos Académicos y decana de los profesores, la doctora Charlotte Borst, por los años que dedicó aquí a Whittier College. Ella se va, pero se va porque se va a convertir en una presidenta de otra universidad. In English, I would like to thank Vice President of Academic Affairs and Dean of the Faculty, Charlotte Bortz, for all her support throughout the years while she was at Whittier, and now she will become a president of a university in Ohio. Idaho! I'm sorry. I can never get them straight. Okay. We're trying to keep it secret so the paparazzi won't follow her. Okay. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much for Shane Cadman, all of your support and your help for this event. You made it possible. And we will have a reception right next door at the chapel. Please join us. Please allow the faculty and the students to exit first and then continue on to the grass area outside the chapel. So we will be happy to, congratulate everybody, take pictures and everything over there. Thank you very much again for being here with us.